Yes, we love groups like that. We also love all our green groups like Sierra Club, and we thank them so much for their support every year. Sierra Club's back now, and they introduced a topic to us last year for Transit Equity Day that they're now putting into practice this year. So let's play a clip of the video.
On this fall day outside New York City, the Sierra Club is leading a group of veterans on a hike on Bear Mountain. But getting there isn't easy for everyone.
I have to take one bus on First Avenue to 42nd Street and First Avenue, and then normally I wait 20 to 25 minutes to board the next bus, which is cross town from 42nd Street to Grand Central Station. Most of the time it takes me like an hour and a half.
An estimated 100 million Americans do not have an accessible park within a 10-minute walk of their homes. A lack of transportation, outdoor experience, or outdoor education and other barriers prevent many from experiencing the full benefits of time spent in nature.
Beautiful.
Joining us now is Rebecca Deegan from Sierra Club, Pennsylvania. Rebecca is an organizer with the Sierra Club based in Philly, Pennsylvania. She works on the Outdoors for All campaign, which aims to reduce barriers to outdoor access in communities who have been excluded from safe, quality outdoor recreation. In Philly, Rebecca is a partner with Transit for Philadelphia, a coalition of Philly-based organizations advocating for safe, accessible, and sustainable public transit. Within the coalition, Rebecca focuses on Sierra Club's Transit to Trails campaign. Rebecca, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Bakari. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And this really touched my heart. When we were all stuck in the house for however long, one of my biggest escapes was being able to just take transit to go to trails. So I'm glad you all are doing this campaign.
Yeah, it's really a privilege to be able to do this campaign with Sierra Club, and we are sort of soft launching the campaign right now during Transit Equity Day, and I think we're going to really plan to ramp up over the spring and summer. And there are a number of organizers all over the country and a number of Sierra Club chapters that are planning on contributing to the campaign. And the campaign is really just about the title itself, Transit to Trails, right? Making sure that all Americans have access to safe, quality outdoor recreation without the need for a car. We believe at Sierra Club that everyone has a right to access the outdoors and that we have to do our part in fostering equity and resilience in communities so that they can continue to go outside. And part of that is transit justice and making sure that people have the autonomy to recreate either locally close to their home or further away and doing all kinds of activities. And ultimately, we want them to be limited only in like what they're interested or not interested in doing. But we want transit to be a huge part of contribution to how people can go outside.
Absolutely. We have a comment. Kimberly Davis said this is a major concern in North Carolina, many of the rural neighborhoods that service. Yeah, I think that's really important is just kind of to highlight that. And especially, no matter where you are, and especially you could be around nature, but if you can't even leave out of your house, I think this is really important to service this. So I wanted to kind of go into, we heard earlier from Philadelphia about the lack of service in some parts of it, but there's also a lot of great park space. So could you just walk us through that?
I would be so happy to. Yeah, Philly is a really, really amazing city in terms of green space. We are lucky to have like one of the higher amounts of green space per capita and per person. And so we have so many parks that are within walking distance to communities. This is a map of Philly green spaces provided by philly.gov, as well as a SEPTA regional rail. So we are fortunate enough to have a public transit infrastructure in Philly. We have SEPTA and we have 2 trains, and then we have a bus system as well. And those trains and buses, they can get you to green spaces, but you'll also note that the circles in red on the right-hand map show where there is lacking quality green space. So whereas Philly has some really beautiful, well cared for parks such as Fairmount Park, Wissahickon, John Hines. I could go on and on. There is a massive disparity in which parks are funded and which parks are accessible. And many Philadelphians do not have access to parks. And in fact, even in a lot of cases where technically maybe there is a bus stop or a train stop that is accessible to the park, a lot of those places, they're either not well kept, they are not safe, or they're really, really unreliable in terms of transit access. So you can sometimes need to take hours and hours just to get to a park that is a few miles from your house, and you have to have a lot of time. We know that people's time is their most valuable and most limited resource, right? Especially if you are a family with children. And oftentimes green spaces are not accessible to people, which is a shame because, like I said, we have so many in Philly, and we are lucky enough in comparison to many other cities in the United States that we do have that public transit infrastructure already set up. So it's about a couple of things. It's about education as far as what parks are there and how to access them. And it's about improving our infrastructure here. We at Sierra Club, we try and do outings that are accessible by public transit and that educate the public on what those kind of transit routes are and where they exist. And then we also try and educate people on where those disparities, where those green spaces or public transit routes are lacking in certain communities, and which communities are really being excluded from our beautiful green spaces and the opportunity to recreate here in Philly.
Absolutely. Where can people find you if they want to continue more on this work?
So you can find me at the Sierra Club PA website. And you can also find me. I'm a coalition member of Transit Forward Philadelphia, which I would love to talk about just a little bit more. So that is a coalition of a bunch of local partners in Philly that are fighting for different advocacy issues related to public transit access. And so they believe in equity of public transit, that transit must be affordable for all. It must be accessible and serve everyone, especially those who rely on it. And that transit engagement and advocacy must involve all residents and must be structured to support neighborhoods and communities. They believe in access and very strongly that access provides autonomy and that people have the right to have their own autonomy and be able to make their decisions that help them best serve their own life. And public transit is a massive part of that. And then they also believe in safety. Although we do have a SEPTA public transit infrastructure, like I mentioned, there are some real issues with safety and cleanliness that prevent a lot of people, especially, again, those with families and those that are differently abled, from being able to really utilize our public transit. And so Transit Forward Philadelphia and a bunch of its local partners are doing really, really amazing work to make sure that that happens. So you can find much more about those and their local partners on the Transit Forward Philadelphia website. And then you can always email me, rebecca.deegan@sierraclub.org. Find out about local outdoor programming going on with Sierra Club in Philly that is public transit accessible. And of course, get involved with public transit equity.
Absolutely. Rebecca Deegan from Sierra Club, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.